Hello, everyone, and welcome into another edition of the Computer America Show. We have a great show planned for you today, as we have Sandy
Your
Berger here
show
with
will go
us.
live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Grossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@ComputerAmerica.com.
Hello, and welcome into another edition of the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers and technology. So glad that all of you could join us here as we continue on here on another edition of the Computer America Show. And we have a wonderful show planned for you with Sandy Berger, who is waiting patiently in the wings. And today's show is going to be all about gift giving guides. Of course, she just wrote an entire article with I believe it was a top 10 list, and then and there's lots of items to talk about there, and then as well as her experience with the new OLED TV. And yes, we will explain what all of those letters mean, as well as some hey, shopping for a television, just like shopping for a computer, not the easiest thing in the world, and there are a lot of different pieces to what make a good television. So we will go over that and much more here today on Computer America. So before we jump into this, I just want to, of course, outline the fact that ComputerAmerica.com, the website, is your best friend because that has everything that we talk about today in one convenient place. All you have to do is find today's show notes, and which, as of right now, they are on the homepage, and it will have every topic imaginable that we talk about here on the show listed in one place. So if you're exercising, if you're doing your thing, if you're at the office, then don't worry about it. It's all available, again, in one place. We try to make that very convenient for you. So with that being said, also at ComputerAmerica.com, you'll find our social media links. Go there, follow those, subscribe, like, support Computer America on social media, and you will be entered for a chance to win a Keys to Go keyboard from Logitech. We give one of those away every single Friday to a random social media follower. And yes, that's a $70 value, and we really do enjoy giving those away. Now, without further ado, and because I'm hoping that this is going to work flawlessly, I want to welcome onto the show, once again, longtime Computer America correspondent, consumer electronics expert, Sandy. Can you hear me? I guess not. Wow. Not good. Sandy, can you hear me? Okay, maybe I'm gonna have to be the one to. Maybe I'm gonna have to be the one to, of course, pop in and pop out. See, I have no idea why. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pop in and pop back out, and then we'll do our things. So, while we do this, I apologize, everyone. These things seem to be happening more and more, unfortunately. But yes, Sandy Berger, she runs Compukiss and is, it's a great resource for all things, technology related. Definitely go check that out when you get a chance. Now, Sandy, can you hear me? I cannot hear you, Sandy. So, with that being said, I'm wondering what it could be because I can definitely hear Skype. So maybe it's maybe it's your microphone setting, unfortunately. Yeah. Hopefully we get that figured out here soon. And obviously she can hear me to some extent, so that's good because she keeps dropping in and out. But yeah, so welcome, and here she is back again. Hopefully it's.
I'm back, but can you hear me?
I can hear you. There we go. Perfect.
Oh, all right. It just took both of us getting out and coming back.
Just some of the weird stuff. But no, welcome into the Computer America Show. Thank you for joining us once again.
Okay, I'm happy to be here. I'm glad that we got this working.
Definitely.
Sometimes technology is wonderful and sometimes it's a pain. You know that.
Yeah, but when you can finally hear each other, conversations bloom. So, with that being
Okay.
said, first off, happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you, and hopefully everything over there is going well for you.
We've got some nice weather here, and everything is going well.
Nice weather. Now, obviously, the weather's a pretty broad, category because, of course, we're nationwide. But I know that the top part of the nation, the one nearest the Arctic Circle in Canada and what have you. I have a brother in Colorado. Lots of snow, and I've seen horrible amounts of snow. So hopefully you weren't getting any of that.
No, we're in North Carolina, and we had
Right.
60 degrees today, so I'm very happy. I love snow at Christmas time, but I'd rather not drive in it, etc., etc. So
Exactly. Yeah, and we're also in North Carolina, so yeah, the weather has been quite lovely, and but I know for a lot of the nation it has not been. But uh, unfortunately, we are not Weather America; we are Computer America, and it's been a month since you've last been on, and well, actually a
Right.
month and a bit because you were on early last month, and now you're kind of here towards the middle of the month, so it's been a little while. But as I understand it, and I did not, as of right now, I did not get the article that you mentioned, but you have a series of different things to talk about. And as I understand it, one of them is a new article that you've written. And I believe it's your top 10 guide because, like, this is going to be very interesting because I'm sure, as long-time listeners know, and for anyone who doesn't, you review a lot of different products, and
I
you
do.
honestly give them a good shake. So, a top 10 list, or just a good list of good
Top
products.
product list for 2016 is what I've done.
Perfect. Yeah, it's going to be very valuable. So I thought we'd start with that.
It's great. This year, I've done this every year, and this year was particularly amazing to me, even.
Hmm.
Three of my choices were smartphones. And I've never had a year where I couldn't pick the best smartphone. I couldn't say this one's the best, that one's the best, But this year we've got three in contention, and all three are fantastic phones. Guess
Hmm.
which ones, or can you guess one of them?
The Samsung Galaxy S7, obviously, top the
Yep,
list.
top
Um,
the list. Very, very wonderful. Okay.
yeah, yeah, no, they can't keep those things on the shelves in a very explosive way. But no, you're
Explosive way. That was good. Okay.
thank you. Yeah, I felt it was a little on the nose, but it is what it is. So,
Mm.
no, I like.
Well, what we're saying is that Samsung's problems with exploding phones has not affected their sales of the Galaxy S7. And the
Right.
reason for that is because it's a fabulous phone, and because it came out a good 6 months before the explosions with the Note phone that they had. So I think people were already kind of hooked on that phone, and many of them were reading good reviews on the phone, and so it has continued to skyrocket.
Perfect. Yeah, no, and before we get into kind of each particular phone, three different phones. Obviously, I don't think you assume that anyone out there should go out and purchase three different phones just for the sake of having three different phones. When you
No,
do,
I don't.
right, when you do finally come out with this article, is this gonna like a? Do you have a number one favorite phone, or was it the Galaxy was topped your list?
Well, the three phones that we're talking about here on my list are the Samsung Galaxy S7,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the S7 Edge, which is the larger one, the iPhone 7, the iPhone 7 Plus, which is their larger phone, and the Google Pixel and the Pixel XL, which is their larger phone. Now, if you really pressured me to choose one of these,
Mm-hmm.
I would probably choose the Galaxy S7.
There you go.
The
And
reason,
yeah, go for it.
yeah, the reason is because it's got a few features that I really like. All three phones take fabulous pictures. I mean, there used to be a time when I did a product review, I would have to take out my big Canon camera and put a um, on it and stabilize it and take pictures of the product. These phones have gotten so good that I can take product pictures up close pictures with any one of these three phones and have them turn out fabulously. So each phone though has something that's kind of unique to it. One thing that the Galaxy S7 has is it has a micro SD card slot. And the other two phones do not have that. There's no expandable memory in the iPhone, which is kind of typical for the iPhone,
Right.
and no expandable memory in the Google Pixel either.
But the Pixel,
Depends.
of course. Oh, and
Go
just real
ahead.
quick, the Pixel, of course, by Google. I mean, if you're a Shutterbug or anything like that, I do believe it comes with a certain amount of, a very generous amount of cloud storage for photos and videos and things like that. So that does help a little bit with the, with the storage issue.
Does with the storage space, which is very true. And the thing about, now we're jumping around a little, I hope everybody can follow. But the thing about the Pixel phone is that Google gives you free photo storage, I think forever or for the life of the phone, I'm not sure which actually. But it gives you that free photo, which anybody can use Google Photos for free and store as much as they want. But that's in a smaller size. If you're a real good photographer and you want to take raw pictures or you want to take really large photos that you're going to work with and all that, this is well worth it, the offer of the free stuff, storage for photos.
Definitely, and yes, we are jumping around a bit. Why don't we get back to the Galaxy phone? Because you seem to really like that one, and of course, expandable memory. That's all good, but I think your point with the cameras is that it's convenient and they've all gotten so good, but I mean, and please feel free to correct me, but with the phones, I'm sorry, with the cameras the way they are in phones. Google, of course, said that they have the best camera in a phone, by an independent rating system. That may be true, but I mean, when one phone gets an 89 and the next one gets an 87 and the next one gets an 84, I mean, does it really matter
Exactly
that
how
rating?
close
Is
is
there
it?
much of a difference?
Yeah. There is not that much of a difference. I had all three phones together and I took pictures with all three of them. And, one phone would kind of do better in a certain light, the other would do a little better in the other light. But the comparisons together, they seem to be all of equal value to me anyway, equal quality. Now, the Galaxy Samsung Galaxy was the first phone to have a 12 megapixel camera. So they lowered the number of pixels for the camera, ended the size of the CMOS and the size of the individual pixels. And that really made this camera phone excel in low light. Now the iPhone 7 and the Google Pixel have also copied that sort of thing, so they're all very good. What I like about the Galaxy, though, is just, the SD card slot, which although photos on there, most people or a lot of people store music and now videos. Videos take up a lot of room.
Hmm?
And if you want to store them on your phone, this is a great phone to get. The other thing I really like about it, they made it water resistant, which is wonderful. But the wireless charging. You do have to buy a wireless charger. It doesn't come with, for about $30 or so. That thing down, you plug it in, and then when you come home from work or whatever, you bring your phone, you put it right on top of the charger, and it charges up. It is just so much easier than playing with cables and cords and all that. So that alone is a feature that I really love.
Definitely, and wow, and that made me really want to jump over to the fact that the rumor mill with next year and the Samsung Galaxy or the Samsung Note S8 may perhaps lose the headphone jack as well, because going cordless, you seem to view it as a positive, and we've talked about the iPhone losing the headphone jack as well. But as of right now, the phone that we're talking about, cordless in so much as charging, you think it's really convenient. Is it quicker or is it about the same
It
as regular charging?
it has a headphone jack.
Right. That's it.
The iPhone is the only one of these that does not have an headphone jack. Now, to me, Apple was smart in that they did put an adapter in the box. Last time they changed their type of connectivity, they didn't. You had to buy a charger for it,
Right.
and that was really bad. But since they put it in the box now, I don't think that's going to make anyone who has wired headphones go and buy another phone because they can use this phone if they want to. But I think that in general, across the board, we have moved to Bluetooth speakers, and the old headphone jack was so old. I mean, this was a thing that was used years and years ago. For a long, long time, it did well, but I don't really think it's a big loss. So that makes the iPhone 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus, even though they don't have that jack. Um, Apple added water resistance
Hmm.
storage. It's still not removable storage, but the iPhone 7, you get more storage for your money when you buy it. And it added stereo speakers. And the speakers on this phone are pretty good. If you want to listen straight from your phone to music, yeah. So each one of these phones has something that might entice you as a user. Won't entice everyone. So you have to look at what you're getting and make a decision on which one. But they're all very, very good.
Very good to hear. And of course, price wise, I mean, I think they're all about the same when it comes to retail price, correct?
They are. There are a lot of offers right now. There was a huge offer. I'm not sure if it's still there on the Google Pixel. Um, tell you which phones we really like. My husband and I, we're a mixed marriage.
Mm-hmm.
We always have different phones so that I can review and apps and things like that. And right now he's using the Galaxy S7 and I'm using the iPhone 7. But that does not mean I would not buy a Google Pixel if I needed another phone.
Right.
Okay. The Pixel has some great features. Like you said, the camera is what they call the highest rating by the rating facilities and all that. Difference, but I did see a huge difference in the videos. So in my opinion, if you are a video taker, especially sports and fast moving things, the Pixel is very good. You can hold that phone and walk down the street and it will stabilize the video that you're taking as you walk.
Very
Because
cool.
as you take step by step, usually you're shaking the camera, etc.
Right.
But this one takes beautiful videos.
Very, very good to hear. And no, no, and that little bit of image stabilization, I mean, I think can also be found in the iPhone, but I think that's only for pictures. For video, very cool to hear that Google
Right.
did that as well. Um,
Yeah, they really did a nice job. All three phones have beautiful OLED, well, let's see. No, I shouldn't say that. The Pixel has the AMOLED, and the Galaxy has an OLED screen.
right.
iPhone has what they call their Retina screen, which again, you put these three phones together, and you'd be hard pressed to say which one really looks the best. I think, Ben, that's because they've reached a point with the technology that they can screens look fabulous on all these phones, and in these three phones, they did.
Very, very cool. And the only other question I have about the Pixel phone is it available? Because I've heard so many people have been trying to get it, and I've heard of horrendous back order, kind of waiting times.
It seems to be coming and going. They were back ordered for a long time, and then they speeded up delivery on these things. They were can't say they were giving them away, but they had all sorts of offers at Black Friday for the Pixel phones, and then I think they sold a lot again and got a little bit short. So I don't know if they're big supply right now or not.
Right.
The one thing that this phone, besides not having wireless charging, um, it have the water resistance that the other two phones have. So if that's important to you, if you're near water or you happen to be a little klutzy, you might want to go with something with the water resistance. I've actually had many people who have dropped their phones in the toilet or, amazingly, just in a puddle and the phones were ruined. I mean, this was, for the previous phones. So without the water resistance, that's one thing I think that Google probably should have put in here and didn't.
Yeah, I mean, Google did not set themselves apart from the other similar spec phones in terms of price. They didn't set themselves apart, you know, like you said, in quality, really too much. Uh, so, yeah, to set themselves apart by not including a feature such as water resistance, not waterproof, uh, hey, it's pretty important. But I'm sure the next iteration, this is Google's, I don't even say Google's first offering, but kind of their
The first,
revitalizing of the Nexus line.
yeah, the
So,
first one made completely by Google or
right,
developed by Google.
right, that's it.
And that the phone itself is produced by HTC, but you don't see that anywhere on the packaging or anything like that. Everywhere it just says Google. And I've been enamored of HTC phones anyway. The build quality on them I have found to be excellent. And that's the same thing on all three of these phones we were talking about. Really good build quality, where previous versions of Samsung phones were a little plasticky. The iPhone has always been great build quality, and of
Right,
course, this is the first Pixel that we can look at. But all three of these phones have great screens, great screen, great build quality, and they're all pretty good on charging the batteries as far as charge time and how long they last.
very, very cool. Good to hear that. So all three,
Yeah.
and of course, with all three making your list, that means all three are definitely suitable to go check out. And hey, if you're looking for a new phone, those three are in the running.
Check out all three if you can,
Absolutely.
without a doubt.
So with that being,
Bex, and
oh, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that there of course was more on the list other than phones. So what else did you get?
Right. The next type of things that I put on my must-have or great products for the year are virtual assistants. Um, the two that are out there right now, Amazon Echo and the Google Home device. Both of these, again, are almost equal quality and they're great items. Um, Actually, fantastic items. Have you tried either one yet, Ben?
I've been shying away from the home assistants, but like
We
I
got
don't
we got to
even.
get you to
I'm sorry.
we got to get you to buy one.
Yeah, yeah,
To try one.
yeah, I probably will. I mean, I'm an avid Amazon Prime user in almost every other aspect of my life. I just haven't made the jump
Hmm.
to Alexa or things like that. But no, I have not tried one.
Okay, well, if you're a Prime user, that almost makes the decision for you between the Amazon Echo and Google Home. Because if you're already paying them $99 a year, you're getting a lot for that money in free shipping and free music and stuff like that. And then to add the Amazon Echo, um, it's just some additional things that are really cool. Really, really cool. And now the Amazon Echo is selling right now for $179, and Google Home is selling for $129. So if you want to get into it a little cheaper, the Google Home is a good way to go. For you, Ben, I would probably recommend Alexa, which is the voice of the Echo.
Definitely.
And Google Home came out with theirs at $129. What happened is the Amazon was smart enough to know this was coming, and so they immediately, around the same time Google Home came out, they came out with the Echo Dot. And the Echo Dot is a small version of the Amazon Echo. $49.
That is a lot more accessible to a lot more people. I'd assume at forty
Isn't
nine
it
dollars. Yeah.
unbelievable? And right now, I was at their website this morning and they've got a promo going for $39.
Hmm.
And Best Buy and several people like that also have promos going on it. So, the question becomes between the Echo and the Echo Dot,
See, but
and the
I'm
difference.
I'm kind of
Go
torn
ahead,
though.
maybe you know.
And I just gotta say that I'm kind of torn though because yes, I am fully invested in the Amazon ecosystem. I've actually started receiving groceries from them, like not just random household things, but you know actual chips and that you can go buy at the grocery store. It's just
Yeah,
more convenience, I guess, to get it from the middle of nowhere than it is from down the street.
right.
But at the same
Yeah.
time, I'm
Um,
also very well invested into Google. I mean, I use Google applications everywhere, so it's hard.
well, you might have to make a decision here. But the Echo Dot at coming in under $50
Right,
is a great way to get into it. And the reason that they can sell that for 50 and the bigger one is 179, the only thing that is difference is that the Dot does not have that the Echo has. The Echo has a very good speaker so you can listen to music. Now, which is much smaller. I mean, they're both round, okay, but the Dot looks more like a hockey puck. It's about 3 inches and it's about an inch tall. So it's more like a cylinder. It's about 9 inches tall and is a cylinder, and that cylinder is basically filled with the speakers. So I don't say the Dot doesn't have any speakers because it does. The Dot can talk to you. You can talk to it. It's got the microphone speakers, everything it needs. But when you go to play music, it doesn't have really good speakers for music.
right.
Big difference, the only difference. And basically, what Amazon was very smart in doing is they allowed you to put now on a Bluetooth speaker. So you can connect the Dot with a Bluetooth speaker if you just happen to have one around the house. You can use that for your music and for everything that you're talking to the Echo Dot. And the other thing that they did is they put an auxiliary plug, a 3.5 plug, and that allows you you go out and buy a audio cable for about $6. And if you have any, you can hook that up. I mean, old radios, old boom boxes, anything with an aux out that you can hook up to this. And it just works great. I hooked mine up to an old Bose radio that I was barely using, and the sound is fabulous.
Makes it very, very convenient. And
S-
again, you can save that little bit of money here on the front end, and you get to start experiencing these things. And again, uh, just for listeners out there who may have not heard our extensive, Google Home or Alexa coverage, why would someone need a personal assistant? What do you find yourself using one the most for?
That's interesting. Them right now, I'm still testing both. The thing that I use it for is playing music. For following my daily schedule because I can just say, Alexa, today, or Hey, Google. That's the only thing I don't like about Google. I don't like that I have to call Hey, Google because I feel like I'm doing a commercial for Google all the time. But other than that, she's great. Um, I have grandkids that come over. They ask her immediately to tell them a joke. They play games with her. They ask questions. Um, Devices control a lot of things in my home. So I have Philips Hue light bulbs throughout the house. I have internet connected switches, and so I can control my lights. I just go to bed at night and say lights off, and she turns all the lights off in the house. I use that a lot. The thing I guess that really amazed me about what I use Alexa for, that surprised me, is to read books.
Huh.
She not only can read audiobooks from Audible, but if you buy Kindle books from Amazon, most of those she can read in her own voice. And I might be tired in the evening. My eyes are definitely tired in the evening because I've usually been sitting in front of a computer all day. Um, So I have the bigger Alexa in my living room, and I can go in the living room and have her start reading my book. And then when I'm ready to go to bed, I just stop that Alexa and go in my bedroom where I have a little dot
Very cool.
and ask Alexa. They both
Sandy, I hate
named Alexa.
Sandy, I hate to interrupt you, but we're about to go to commercial break. So everyone, stay tuned for more Computer America here
Okay.
after just a moment.
Alrighty.
Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Yeah, to him, pro and con are not opposites. Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Klein Tools Catapult Wire Stripper and Cutter. Our favorite latter-day wire strippers could grab an insulated wire in one jaw, while a second jaw brought down the sharp semicircles of an insulation stripping head that, as you squeeze its handles together, push the little macaroni insulation ends off the newly bared wire within. That's just the starting point for the Klein Catapult. The front has a pass-through suicide circle that works like a high-end cigar cutter to cut the wire. The 6-position stripper is marked with both stranded and solid wire sizes. The wire grip head is tension-loaded, and the head halves don't snap back together until both the clamp and the strip sides let go. Bottom line, a Klein Catapult wire stripper cutter is a little bit of a machine and a whole lot of tool. Marty Winston, News Tips Bulletin for Computer America.
All right, and welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 32 minutes past the hour as we continue on here with Sandy Berger. And you can find more of her writings over at Compukiss and a few other publications, which we will mention a little bit later on. But and also check out computeramerica.com because there will be kind of a roundup, everything that we talk about here in a link form over at the website. So, yes, getting back to it, we're going through, some of the best products of 2016 that, to keep an eye out, maybe a gift for yourself, maybe a gift for someone else. But, after 3 phones made it, good to hear that 2 of these next gifts were, of course, virtual assistants, the Google Home and the Amazon Echo. And we were just kind of wrapping up, of course, what Sandy, found herself using them for, because if she uses it for one purpose, then odds are you can definitely use it for the same purpose. And, that's kind of the problem that I'm running into, is that I don't have a clear-cut need, or at least I don't believe I do. But maybe after I get one, I'll find out that, hey, this is actually a lot more convenient than,
I think that's absolutely right. Yeah. You don't know what you're missing until you suddenly can walk into a dark house and have the lights turn on automatically when you come in, and you're busy with doing something in your lap and you don't want to get up to turn the light on. You just say, Alexa, turn this light on. Google, hey Google, turn this light on. And it just becomes a convenience that you probably don't want to do without once you've had it.
Right.
Now, Ben, I did want to tell everybody the biggest difference between and the Amazon Echo. There are 2 big things. The first one is that the Echo has been out for a year longer, and so if you want to use it to control home devices like light bulbs, thermostats, blinds, and things like that, they have a lot more things that work with the Echo. the one thing about the Echo. The really good thing about Google Home is it has the speakers that are built in are a little bit better, I think. Not that much, but a little bit. But the biggest thing is that Google Home, you can buy 2 devices and put them in different places in your house and have that play the same music.
Hmm.
So you're getting like a whole house stereo system, which is really cool. You cannot do that with the Echo. You can have devices in each room, and each one can play music. Nice. I'm hoping that that's something that Amazon will be able to add to the Echoes that are out there right now. I don't know if they will or not, but it's something I find really great.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it would be that hard. And maybe this would be, again, kind of utilizing Bluetooth, where you just kind of connect speakers around the house, and or even Wi-Fi speakers. But no, very very important difference. And like you said, that is part of the value proposition actually of these devices, is that you buy them today, and they're going to have a set use of purposes, such as for today. But, hey, over the course of a year, over the course of a year and a half, these devices really aren't going to see too many updates or upgrades. And, they're going to be updated. They're going to be updated, and you're going to be able to use it with more devices. You're going to be able to use it with more services. I mean, Echo, this
Right. Every
entire,
day.
yeah,
Every
yeah,
day you get up and it can do more than it could do the day before.
right, yeah,
And you
without
didn't
having to
have
pay a
to pay
cent.
for that.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
the entire year of 2016 was all, every other week it was, you can now order an Uber from Amazon Echo. You can now order a pizza from Amazon Echo. I
Right.
mean, they add a lot of functionality after you buy these devices.
Right. Yeah, it's wonderful. I really enjoy both of the devices for that reason. To go back to the whole home audio capabilities of Google Home, um, Google Home can work with the Google Chromecast
Hmm.
and the Google Chromecast audio. So I have a Chromecast on my TV, and and I also have surround speakers on my TV. So I can say to Google Home, music through my TV, and it will play through the stereo speakers. Google, I think we talked about last month the Chromecast audio, which basically hooks up to like a radio in some other room of the house, and I can make a Google Home that. So there's some cool things that are already happening with these 2 devices. I don't know which one is gonna wind up the one to buy in the end. Of the Echo getting down to 39 or $49, you don't have to wait to find out. You can try it out now and, buy a new one later if necessary.
There you go. Absolutely. So, and I hate to rush this along a little bit, but we're about 40 minutes in. We've covered, I think, about half the list. So, um,
Okay.
what else made the list? What else made the cut?
Well, the other thing that made the cut was the in televisions, and I picked out 2 televisions that I thought were excellent, and I wasn't just looking at the best television because not everybody can have a room to put a 70 or 100-inch television. So I looked at TVs that were 55 to 60 inches
Okay.
and which ones had the best picture. Now, as you've been watching TVs for the past few years, prices have come down considerably. But my top pick was the LG OLED series. So they have one called the 55-inch B6P. And oh my gosh, this thing has pictures, the blackest blacks you could want. The clarity is phenomenal. Um, and the price has come down from $1,000. I think a year ago it was 4,000, and now they're 2,000, and you can even get it for a little less than that. So they're still pricey, but you get a lot for what you pick.
Right. And lately, whenever someone says OLED to me, I'm still a little jaded. Computer America received a product for review, and it was by a company that is not well known for their televisions. In fact, they're not well known really for much, but when you go to their website, their television is buried behind knockoff printers and things like that. And, when we received the television, we're like, oh, check it out. It's an OLED. That's impressive. And this company purposely used a font on their box that made D's look like O's. So it's actually D-LED technology, which is not a thing, or at least, not a very good thing. But it did really kind of emphasize, to me at least, it looked legit. I mean, the box looked good, and it actually is a large television, and it's a decent picture. It's not OLED quality by any means, but it did show how hard it is to shop for televisions, because if someone saw this on the shelf, and for the price that's and for the MSRP that came with the television, I mean, this television was probably about $600 cheaper than similar OLED TVs. So, yeah, it's tricky.
Well, it's getting harder and harder to buy a new TV. You think that once we went to 4K, it wasn't going to get any better, but believe it or not, it has. Right now, there's another thing that we weren't really talking about last year. Last year, we were not talking about HDR in televisions. And this year, this is a must-have feature. What HDR does is it gives you a wider color range, blacks and whiter whites. And when I say color range, one way that I can explain that to maybe people can understand it a little bit better is if you look at a screen, TV screen, and it's got light yellow going to dark yellow, okay? And a lot of times you'll see banding across because it can only put in like 10 different colors of yellow. Well, with HDR, you've got different color levels, so there's no banding. And to me, the word about HDR is realistic. The TV looks more real. I have two side by side, one with very good HDR, one with no HDR. There is a dramatic difference. And that's what people don't understand now. Again, what you said is very true about how difficult it is to shop for a TV now.
Right.
Because sometimes they're not even marked HDR. And there's two competing types of HDR. And on top of that, the store are just getting used to this, and they don't necessarily know what it is or what it does.
Yeah, no, HDR came out in phones, I believe with the iPhone, 5S, something like that. It's been a few years in phones when taking pictures, but even then, and even now, it's a rather undersold feature. I mean, when the HDR feature on at least my iPhone pops up, compared to a non-HDR photo, you really do notice, the difference in colors, and like you said, the realism really goes up, and the fact that they rolled this into televisions, like 4K, I think there was a collective oh hum, because it's like, oh, who needs 4K? But I think with HDR, there was that feeling of, oh, this is a legitimate reason to upgrade beyond 4K. It looks much better.
Right, and you can see the difference in a phone. Now, the phones actually, HDR is a different type of technology than they use on TVs. But what they both give you is an increase in the realism and the looks of the
HDR, and I apologize if I am completely wrong about this, but high dynamic range, it increases the range of colors available to the screen, to your phone screen, to whatever. The HDR in your phone actually combines multiple photos to kind of blend them together and get a better color. And HDR on televisions is just a higher range of colors, and it makes it look
increase exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And with the
and there's two
OLEDs,
competing standards.
Go ahead.
Competing standards in HDR. There's HDR10 and there's Dolby Vision. Now, this is one of the reasons that when I chose my top TV was the LG OLED series. They have both Dolby Vision, which is the better HDR, and HDR10, which is the one that's open source. So in other words, the companies don't have to pay for it, so it's cheaper and it's getting into a lot more TVs. But Dolby Vision is the best one out there, and there again are not that many that you can watch because they have to be filmed in HDR.
Right.
Okay. So you can only watch certain ones on Netflix, but if you go to Netflix or you go to Amazon, the range of 4K is phenomenal now. They have a lot more movies that you can watch, and most of those, or a lot of those, are HDR movies.
And Amazon does have a lot of offerings. Netflix has some offerings as well. More and more content is coming out for 4K, and just like how HD television, didn't used to be a thing, and it took about 3-4 years for it to really catch on. 4K is going to be
Right.
the same way. It's going to take a few years, but I'm sure and actually I just looked up, which you can see on the video portion, but the LG television that we're talking about here, this looks pretty future proof. I mean, if you buy this television today, it's going to make the content coming out in the next couple of years look amazing, as opposed to
Right.
lower end. Of course, you'll kind of be behind the curve eventually. Eventually, you'll be behind the curve.
Right. And I guess what we're saying is, at least what I'm saying is, it's a good time to get into a 4K TV. And I was not ready until this year to say that. Now, it'll be very interesting to see what comes up at the Consumer Electronics Show this year, because there'll be improvements and all that in all these TVs. But even these 2016 models are excellent. And whatever they show or what improvements they have at the Consumer Electronics Show, it will take a while to get those out into the public, and they'll be at a premium price. So right now, if you can get some of these TVs at a lesser price, the other TV that I like, which is not OLED, it is just LED,
Mm-hmm.
is the Samsung phone. It has several levels, but the one which is called SUHD and has quantum dot technology, that produces one of the best LED pictures available. The 8000 series is the one I looked at as being pretty cost effective, having HDR and everything else you could want in there. And that, as I wrote this, was selling for $1,300.
Much
And you
cheaper
can
than
get,
the other. Yeah.
yeah, you can get cheaper. I mean, you can get, like you were talking about, $600 TVs, and you can get $800 TVs, but you're not going to get the quality that you get in these two of my choices.
Right. Yeah, and just kind of poking around the Samsung website, and it seems that they are indeed sold out of the 55-inch. But hey, go to Amazon, go to the different box stores. I'm sure they'll have a few
Right,
available through them. But
right.
no,
The reason they're sold out is because the price was really good for what you got. They've got great speakers. Samsung, in particular, the series has a really nice remote control that automatically hooks up your devices for you. So if you afraid about, you know, going to this input and doing this and doing that, it automatically knows which input to go to.
Hmm.
So Samsung has some nice features too.
now
I really
looking.
don't advise people to go ahead.
The only thing
I'm
I
sorry.
wanted to mention was one of the features here that Craig said continuously he would not be a fan of, but I said it was coming. Uh, with the Samsung, the 55-inch F8000 series, um,
Mhm.
it looks like they have motion and voice control, or gesture and voice control for the television. Did you get a chance to try that out?
Right, I did. I really liked the Samsung remote control even better than the LG remote control.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, and the voice activation now is in the Fire tablets and Fire TVs and Roku, and it is very convenient to be able to say, "Give me a movie with Alec Baldwin in it," and it gives you a list on the screen of all the Alec Baldwin movies. And that's where you get to start using the voice control with the TV and the voice control with the Amazon Echo and with the Google Home. Um, when we were watching baseball and I didn't know the name of the Cubs manager,
Oh, who
I just
would?
asked Alexa, and she told me. So these are things that every day, when you ask, "What do I really use it for?" Well, use it for different things at different times, and every day you do and you do something new, and it kind of makes your life a little bit more exciting. I think.
There you go. Very, very cool.
Haven't said that about much
Right.
before this year.
Right,
Yeah.
and I think I cut you off a little bit earlier. You were going to make a, it sounded like a word of warning or a word of caution about televisions.
Uh, what was it about?
I think so, but no. But so these two televisions made your top list. So far we have
Right.
3 phones, 2 voice assistants, and 2 televisions. Uh,
Right.
was that it?
Well, my last product category was Bluetooth speakers because they are wildly popular. Everybody seems to have their own favorites in this area. Beats is wildly popular, especially with the younger folks, and maybe that's the one you would like to listen to. Um, really chose um, the Ultimate Ears, the EU, it's called. Their speakers have great sound quality, and it's across the board. Where, say, the Beats is usually a little heavier on the bass. The EU, in case you don't know, or in somebody listening doesn't know, are the high-end speakers that are put out by Logitech. And
Hmm.
Logitech is right now making some really great things. A whole series of these speakers, which are all different shapes and sizes. But the 2 speakers that I like in particular are the Mega Boom and the Boom 2 speakers. They're durable, they're waterproof, and they have some new apps called Party Up. The app actually lets you link them together. So say you have 2 mm, Mega Booms in your house. Okay, so now you can hook them together and play stereo music through the house. But say your friends come over and they have the same type of speakers, you can add them to your party mode and have 3 speakers, 4 speakers, as many as you want, I believe. There's probably a limit somewhere, but I'm sure it's more than 50 speakers that you can link together.
Wow, very impressive.
This is really neat. This is a new thing that I haven't seen anybody else do, which also impresses me when I see something really good.
Yeah, no, coming up with something new is very, very hard in such a crowded field. And
Right.
so speakers, and just as an aside, uh, why did you decide to kind of omit some of the other categories? Because I would think, as a consumer electronics expert, there's a lot of different categories that obviously you didn't cover, but namely, and this is something that we've been kind of noticing as a trend. No tablets, and tablets, the demand for them has kind of softened a bit, as people have been saying. But you know, why did you decide to go with these categories and not with laptops,
Well,
tablets, computers?
I could have written a lot more. I could have made a lot more choices in various categories. Um, computers, there's not anything new there, although they're starting like with the Microsoft Surface. Their new tablet is pretty dramatic, and that might have been my pick in that area if I had gone there.
Hmm.
Um, but the thing is with tablets, it's you can spend an awful lot of money on a tablet, or you can buy a cheap tablet. I just wrote an article for Compukiss, and that's www.compukiss.com if anybody wants to go and read it. And that article was about, is it worthwhile to buy a $33 tablet? It has a Fire tablet that when I wrote that is selling for $33. I think now it might be 49 or something. It's a 7-inch tablet. It's very, very nice. You can do so much with it. It's unbelievable. And on top of that, if I was to choose a tablet, I might have chosen that for how inexpensive it is, and also for the fact that they've added Alexa to the tablet. the tablet that I'm using is a year old, but I picked it up one day, and on the screen it says, "Your tablet now has Alexa. Just do this, this, and this, and you can talk to her and ask her questions. Control your lights too." So, yeah, they're doing a lot in different areas. You know, I couldn't cover all the areas, or I would have written for weeks probably.
Okay, yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't because it's like, oh, no one's doing anything interesting with tablets. No, it's just this was your decision to keep it simple.
Right.
Compukiss, keep it simple.
And that's the idea of Compukiss, is keep it short and simple. So I do try to do that. There's a lot more things that we could write about, a lot more things that we can talk about, which we have, because when we get together every month, we always have new products available
Right. Yeah, and definitely.
to talk about. And looking forward to 2017 to see what they come up with. It's going to be an interesting year, won't it?
Yeah. And I assume by your talk that you are definitely heading out to CES this year.
I might not make it this year, and if I miss CES this year, it'll be the first time in years or so that I haven't been there.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, we'll see. We hadn't made final decision on it yet, but
Yeah.
are you going to be going?
I've been waffling as well, but I think at this point, I'm getting so many appointments and so many people want to, shake my hand and tell me, whatever it is they want to tell me. Yeah, that I think I am going to be able to make it out there, and it's going to be, hopefully a lot of fun,
Good.
very interesting, but at the same time, I'm getting a suspicious feeling because I've been getting a flood of emails about, hey, out at CES, come check this out, check this out. It's
Right.
gonna have, like this year especially. I mean, there's gonna be your big companies in your main hall, but I feel like it's gonna have a more of a startup feel. It's gonna have, a lot of new companies and a lot of, check out this new product from, a company that's a little experimental. Like it's gonna be, not as established as it used to be. In
You
has it
you
been
could be
winning?
right.
Yeah,
I can tell you that drones are going to be extremely, out there. They're going to be front and center.
that's true.
Virtual reality, those are the things that I would be interested in writing about. And whether I go to CES or I sit home and look at everything on the computer, um, and the reality things are just going to be fabulous, I think. And of course, the stuff that's going on in the autos, a lot of car companies, I should say, are integrating Alexa
That's
home
true.
with their cars. So you can be able to sit at home and say, Alexa, how much gas do I have in my car? And she'll tell you. Or, would you check the tires and make sure they're fully
Inflated. Yeah, absolutely. And
inflated. Thank you.
and one step closer to of course, cars not just driving themselves, but cars driving you. Really giving you that personal experience. And of course, if you don't make it out for whatever reason, you can always have the virtual reality CES experience, which is read press releases continuously for 3 days while having someone hit you in the head with a wiffle ball bat, and it's the same thing.
That's good. Is that
The
the
virtual
same
reality.
experience, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the virtual reality CES experience. And also be sure to get a small hotel room. But regardless, Sandy, we are just about out of time. Thank you so much for joining us. But hey, if people want to learn more, I already have Compukiss in the show notes, so if
90
people want to check that out.
seconds.
Where else can they find some of your writings, or where else are you publishing your work?
Am writing a lot for hardwaresecrets.com, and those articles there are a little bit geekier than some of my other things, but they have a really big audience, huge audience of people who are still building their own computers and doing all sorts of stuff like that. So I do consumer electronics for them.
60 seconds.
And I'm also writing for an aviation place called GoGo. And GoGo has, I'll have to put a link on the Compukiss website to GoGo so that you guys can check that out. It's actually, they provide internet for airplanes, which is, again, something really coming on board now. Internet for cars, internet for airplanes. We're going to be at the point soon that we'll never be out of connection with other people.
And that means that you will never be not entertained. So, okay, Sandy, we're just out of time. So thank you so much once again for being here with us.
You're welcome.
Look forward to it. And yeah, you will be back mid-January next month. So,
sounds good. We'll talk about CES.
Perfect. And everyone else out there, thank you so much for tuning in. And
10
be sure to check us
seconds.
out tomorrow, 45 Eastern, same time, same place. Have a good one. Bye, everyone. And everyone out there still watching the video portion of the show, thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you've enjoyed the Christmas decorations that we have up on the live video stream. And yeah, like I said, we'll be back same time, same place tomorrow, 4 to 5 Eastern. So with that being said, have a good one and see you tomorrow with our All Linux show with Marcel Gagne. Have a good one. Bye-bye.